안녕하세요, 여러분.
Hello, everyone.
오늘은 월요일에 2월 15일에.
Today is Monday, February 15th, 2021.
Welcome to day 65 of 100 days of dancing to BTS to end the climate crisis. Woo!
Woo!
We are here with special guests, Zipporah and Poonam. Say hey.
Hey.
And Zipporah and Poonam, I'm curious to hear about how things are going. You're in Texas now, and I hear there's a polar vortex in Texas. I'd love to hear how that's going for you all and your neighbors.
It's pretty wild. I was born and raised in Texas, and the only time I have ever seen anything close to this was 30 plus years ago when I was just about 10 years old. And even then, it was just so much more mild than having, in some places in Texas, a couple of inches of snow. For us, it was about an inch. But just to have the temperatures be as low as they are, it's absolutely wild and nothing we're prepared to handle.
Oh, what do you mean by nothing you're prepared to handle?
So, for instance, there are rolling outages right now. Our electricity grid is hitting its max capacity. We do not have like formal machinery, like the ability to plow snow. And it's also like meteorologists have said that small amounts of ice on power lines can equate to like hundreds of pounds of weight. Like a little bit of ice can equal like so much damage and so much stress to the electrical system, along with people just being home and putting their heats up. That these outages are happening, and they're even considering scheduling them just to alleviate some of the pressure on the grid.
That's not terribly surprising. Like, it sounds like you live in a place, you're in Houston, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, and you're living in a place that doesn't really see snow, so it's not really set up to deal with snow. And now we have a few inches in some places in
Exactly.
Texas.
My best friend put gloves, plastic over gloves for her daughter because we don't have the right equipment even for our own hands.
Zipporah, I'm curious to hear how it's been going with you with this polar vortex and this unusual weather going on in Texas.
I'm from Boston, so I was used to cold in Boston, and I kind of thought I was escaping from it when I moved out here. So I was not happy to find out that it was snowing out here too, because I thought Texas was all sun, and I'm really disappointed.
It sounds like you made it at an unusual year with an unusual polar vortex.
I did.
And I'm curious, both of you, we're interviewing you to talk about the climate crisis, but I'm curious to hear more about like why you care about it and what motivated you to want to do this interview. Poonam, why don't we start with you?
Well, I care about it because I think everyone should have access to clean air, water, and yeah, not have, uh, yeah, just the basics like should be working while we're here alive on this earth and protecting Mother Nature and letting things remain wild to an extent, and allow the sort of the cycle of nature to operate in a normal way. We've just become so imbalanced. And then secondly, I have this little one named Sid, who I really want to make sure this planet is safe and abundant for him and future generations.
Anything you'd like to add, Zipporah?
Definitely want to make the planet a better place for future generations. It seems a bit selfish to come in and ruin it and then not let other people see all the animals that we have, because a lot of animals are going extinct with the temperatures changing and the environment's just changing. So it seems selfish to come in and ruin it and not try to help it for the people to come.
Any final messages that you want to say to the audience and to the BTS fan base, the BTS Army, about joining in the fight to end the climate crisis?
I think it's basically start where you are, baby steps. People do meatless Mondays. I'm vegetarian, but I also, consume animal products like milk and cheese. And so those also play a big role in, raising cattle and other animals that consume a lot of water. So just sort of understand a little bit more about uh, the supply chain of your food. Try to buy locally. Also, if you can afford, donate and purchase some land in an area that might otherwise be destroyed for, you know, various, cattle raising or other, deforestation purposes. For $100, you can buy an acre through a nonprofit organization that I'll share with Alma and she can post on the website.
That's great. That would be awesome, Poonam. How about you, Zipporah? Any final words for our audience of
I would
BTS
just
fans?
say that every little thing counts, just like being aware of everything that you're consuming, turning off the lights when you're not using them, turn off the water when you're not using it. Just be more conscious of the decisions you're making, and every little thing.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us for this talk. And we are actually going to also do a dance. So we'll see you on the dance floor. Bye. Do what you can to end the climate crisis and to end racism. See you on the dance floor.